let's talk about the GX12 real quick. So GX12, it's got it's got Gemini and it's got dual crossband and all that stuff. And is it overkill? Hell yeah, it's overkill. It's overkill for the average everyday person. We ain't gonna need all that it can do, but for me, like, why not? If you can have it, why not? I mean, it's no more expensive than anything else. The receivers are the same price as TBS Crossfire, but now you get 2.4 and 900 simultaneously. So, what's the better? So, number one, why not? Maybe you don't like the long antennas, which I grit my teeth at reinstalling long antennas on my quads again, but I'm not going to use them for everything. I'm not going to use them for everything. I'm going to use the crossband Gemini thing. I'm going to use it on my expensive rigs, right? So if it's going to carry a naked black magic, a Z cam, if it's going to probably be flying around overhead of people, civilians and stuff, I am going to run the Gemini crossband Radiomaster receivers on it. Just a little bit less chance that something could go wrong and end up injuring somebody and end up making me look bad and making me lose work or what have you. So I'm going to do it for safety precautions, not only for the people around and civilians and stuff like that, but I'm also going to do it to try and protect my equipment. My freestyle, my whoops and stuff like that, I'm just going to run 2.4. I hate them long ass antennas. Them long ass antennas is so 2020. Now we got the little 2.4 and stuff like that, and I've been flying those for a couple of years. And as Ilars has shown, it's long range God. I mean, you're not you just it's going to take you as far as you want to go. Your video is going to die out many kilometers before the receiver goes. So yeah, 2.4 for whoops and 3-inch and 5-inch and 7-inch stuff. But once I look at long range stuff like the Dolphin, it's gonna have the crossband and stuff like that, work stuff, things around people. I'm going to run the extra precautions. As far as the radio, I love it. It's not over there. The Jumper T20. Jumper T20 has been my favorite radio since I got it. Not as trustworthy in my book as Radiomaster. Had a hiccup with it, so I wouldn't let this be my primary driver for things that are important, work or something like that. It didn't fail during flight or anything like that. It just one day when I go to power it on, it won't power on. But everything else outside that's been great. I would still use this, but I'd take a backup radio. Radiomaster has been solid since the day they came out. Jumper, since the day they've come out, and this is the second time they've come out. Basically, they're always, I don't know. There's always just something not quite up to par with their competition. Other than that hiccup, this radio, I love it. I love it because of its ergonomic size. I love it because of the built-in antenna that rotates and flips out of the way. I love it because of the sticks. You can adjust the throw vertically and horizontally. And for me, since I have it's uncomfortable for me to pull all the way into my palms. I'm less likely to come full extension. I'm usually going to stop about 3/4 of the way. But with these gimbals, I took them 2/3 of the way in horizontally, and I brought them in vertically and recalibrated, and I have a much shorter throw, but I can fully extend these two ways, and I can hit the edges. So yeah, it's more sensitive, but you just configure your rates and stuff to handle that. But it's not dual, it's not crossband. So I went with this, and lots of people were complaining. Smaller gimbals, they're not full size gimbals. Okay, whatever. Just adjust. I mean, make adjustments. I'm there's been no change in the way anything feels or flies when I'm going with it. The other thing that people were complaining about was these switches up here. It's not good for thumbers. It's not good for big hands and stuff like that. And maybe if you got huge hands, maybe not. But that gave me pause listening to several people putting out negative videos on it. But I wanted the dual band Gemini stuff so bad that I said, let me go ahead and do it. Most of the time when people are complaining about stuff, they're nitpicking. And so I thought there's probably a good chance this is going to be a nitpicking scenario. And when I got it, when I was holding it in my hand and I was doing my first flights, I wasn't comfortable. I wasn't used to it. The switches weren't in the traditional location that I'm so used to from the 16S and stuff like that. But you know what? 5 packs in, no issues. I'm a hybrid pincher thumber thing. I can hit this switch all day long over here. There's no issue. There's no problems for me. I really don't understand the negative info that was being put on the switches and stuff. And you can customize these if you want to, and I don't. I mean, they're fine. They're not in my way. Everything is accessible. It's about the same size as the jumper and the boxer. It feels really good. I've got my momentary switches, default momentary switches right here. Let me see if I can get you a better shot. I got my default momentary switches. Oh, over here, default momentary switches here. That's a go-to. 2025. Every radio should have momentary switches, and everybody should be using pre-arm on those momentary switches. It's 2025. So, all I'm gonna say is about this radio is, again, I don't understand why there was controversy or whatever associated with this radio came out. It's great, but again, I didn't understand the controversy about the picture-in-picture on the G3s. It's fucking amazing. It's so damn helpful. The key is when you double tap to turn the picture-in-picture on, don't be looking down, because that's when it calibrates the optics of it. And if you're looking down like this and you double tap, it's going to be kind of looking down, and then when you come up, you got to kind of over exaggerate because it calibrated incorrectly. You want to pull your head up, double tap, and you're looking straight ahead. And then you can check phone messages. You can grab your vape. You can light a cigarette. You can find your radio, which is generally what my issue is. I forget where my radio is. I put my goggles on. I collapse them down, and they're in the right spot. And I'm like, oh yeah, where's my radio? And you don't want to just start feeling and knock your radio off. So it's just a doo-doop, and you look, and there's your radio. Grab it, doo-doop, and you're back. If you use GPS, you can with position hold. You can put your quad in position hold and do it, and look and like, oh, they want me to do this real quick. They just sent me a text, or my friend or a buddy or somebody's driving to me, or I can just take a quick hit of my bait. Obviously, 3-minute flights, stuff like that. You're just going to take, when you land, you're going to hit your vape, cigarette, what have you. But when you're flying for 6 minutes, 15 minutes, stuff like that, you may want to take a momentary pause and grab your vape. But like I said, generally, I'm just trying to figure out where did I lay my radio down, and I don't want to mess my goggles up, my positioning to find it. I can just do, and there's my radio. Or I can plug in a battery without having to take my goggles off. I can literally just unplug and swap a battery with my goggles on. It's minute little things. It's minute little situations that just makes things easier on you when you're out flying. If you're busy, if if you're working or whatever, you can just do flop, switch batteries real quick, do back. You're off and you're going. I love it. I love it. I don't understand the negative hype it got. And as far as the Zoom thing, whatever, it's no different than putting on a pair of goggles. I mean, you just get used to it. It's just no different than putting on a pair of goggles. I just think sometimes we get too nitpicky about things, and then people hear and then don't give things a fair shot. And I'm gonna tell you right now, this is not an issue for me. This is a fucking blessing in disguise for me. All right. With that said, peace out. Love y'all. Happy flying.